Before we start, I want everybody just to get present really quickly to this call and what we're going to be able to do in this call. So if you can shut down anything like email or your phone, turn it over or something now. If you have a closing that's going on right now or something important, certainly keep that up. But if you're not in any kind of emergency situation right now, I would recommend becoming really present right now, because we're going to create some breakthroughs for some folks right here today. So in order for that to happen, let's get present first. And the way to do that is to start focusing or just becoming aware that you're breathing. Now intentionally breathe. So in three, the count to three, and out, the count of three. Now take your awareness right to the center of your chest where your heart lies. Now from that place, make an agreement with yourself in the chat box. How long do you have to be present for this call today? If somebody only has 30 minutes, I can come to them quicker. If you have, I'll tell you, I can be present all the way to 55 minutes after the hour. So I will be present for that call that long. So in the chat box from everybody, unless you're driving, but anybody that's not driving in the chat box, just put how long you can be present for this call so we can see it. So I'm coming off of 3 days of level 2 transformations, people making these just ginormous leaps in their life and their business. So I'm in a good zone today to help. So I'm feeling it. So in order for me to be able to help you, I want everybody to write down the answer to these 2 questions. What are you grateful for right now? So just write the question down or just put grateful so that you, and I'm going to give you some time to do it in just a second. What are you grateful for right now? And then the question will become your ask to me and the group. What is the one thing that, if solved, would make the biggest difference in your life or business now? So I'm going to say it again. What's the one thing that, if solved, would make the biggest impact or the biggest difference in your life or your business right now? So I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes for those questions, and then I'm going to open it up for volunteers. And then we're going to go around the room and you're going to say, hey, listen, I'm grateful for this. And then I'd love some support around this, because if this was solved, this would make a huge impact in my life or business right now. Now, if you agree to be present on this call, know that you're also agreeing that I might call on you. So somebody might say, hey, this is my ask, and sometimes I'm going to answer it, but sometimes I'm going to see if the group has a better answer than I do. So if you're present to this call, you're also agreeing to be a participant in this call. What I will tell you guys is the biggest differences that I saw this last weekend was when other people coached other people, because you can't coach and teach somebody else without you learning too. Does that make sense to everybody? So sometimes I'm going to bail you out and answer, and sometimes I'm going to say, yeah, you know what? I think let's go to the group. So 2 minutes, guys, and then we're going to start going around. So once you have this answer, if you want to be called on, please put in the chat box, I'd like to be called on. All right, let's do this. Okay, as of this moment, I don't see any volunteers in the chat box. So if we don't get volunteers, then we have to have an agreement that I can just randomly go around and call on people. Now, ready for this? I'm going to give you guys something. This is what's fascinating about being in my chair, is the closer that you get to your question being that it really will solve your problem, the better you'll get. So what most people have is they have some kind of mask up, especially in group settings, right? They don't want to say what they're really struggling with, or they don't want to say what it really is, because we want to put on the airs that we've got it all figured out. That's so normal, but I will tell you that the people that jump on it and get vulnerable and say, hey, this is what's really going on, you're going to endear yourself to everybody else in the group, because they're going to go, he or she's telling the truth. Cool. B, you're going to get your problem solved a lot quicker. The people this weekend that nailed what was really the issue, then they got it solved. Those are the people that you're seeing the post from on Monday going, oh my God, I got these great breakthroughs and this was awesome. But it started really from them being like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to say what it truly is. So check yourself down too. Is this really what it is? Or is this what I want other people to see that I'm struggling with? So I'll ask a question like this, like, hey, Deryck, why am I so awesome? So the ball's in your court on this one. So okay, cool. Now we got, so I'm just going down that line right there, guys, in there. So that's the order. And then anybody else, hopefully will get some courage and go too. So Stacy Luna.
Hey there.
Hey, fantastic.
So what I'm grateful for right now is really loving my business.
Awesome.
I'm enjoying every minute of it. I'm enjoying, I'm watching my affirmations really come to reality, which is, it's kind of a little spooky.
Hang right there. So anybody that doesn't enjoy their business right now, I can tell you that it doesn't come from something external. It's come that you listen to her because she's doing affirmation. She's doing the mindset work in there. If you are not loving this business, that is just a symptom of the problem. The problem is that your mind is not giving you good thoughts right now. So if you have any problems with anything in your life, the power comes when you take responsibility for the way that you feel and you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to work on my mindset to get that. So hats off to you right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have an affirmation that says every day I'm able to help one person.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, without fail, I'm not even knocking on wood, every day somebody's reaching out to me for a loan every day. So
isn't that crazy how it happens?
It's crazy. I would never have believed it without, and I've been doing it. I've only been doing it, I think, since December is when I started.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild. It's pretty awesome. In addition, my daughter is playing competitive volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
We had a really hard tournament this weekend, but they worked for it and they went from 30 or 25 out of 36 to number 3. Sweet. And watching her work for something and learn what that feels like is just been amazing.
Awesome. So what's your ask then?
My ask is, I want to be structured yet flexible in my business. And I just feel like I still don't have the systems in place that are working for me.
From a fulfillment perspective or a marketing perspective?
A little bit of both. Okay. I have an assistant who helps me once I've pre-qualified somebody. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I feel like I'm a little, like I could be more on top of it with getting people pre-qualified, or I should be.
How many loans do you have right now in your pipeline?
There are about 15 people right now that are either pre-qualified in process or, closing in March or April.
Okay. So first thing I want you to write down is I want you to talk to Dan and see, you might be a candidate for level 2 then. It's really when people have closed 60 units in the past 12 months, so that they're at that point when they want to start leveraging and
Yeah.
creating systems, because in 3 minutes, I'm not going to be able to solve your entire problem. But that is the problem that everybody will have at some point. If you don't have this problem yet in your business, you will. So anybody that does our system over time at some point will say the exact problem that Stacy Luna just said. So that's, guys, that's what level 2 is. It's not that level 2 is above level 1 or anything like that. There's level 1 is marketing and mindset. You have to get that. Did you hear Stacy with the mindset? And oh, okay, cool. And she gets the marketing. Now do you see she's got 15 loans? Now do you see that the next thing becomes, okay, how do I leverage and scale and build systems so that I can keep the momentum going?
Yeah.
So that's what level 2 is to solve. So I want you to reach out to Dan. We're going to accept people in April for a July start. We don't take everybody in that one, but it sounds like you might be ready for that. A very quick thing, the number one thing where you're at right now is for you to be extremely easy on yourself, because you haven't been systematic in your business yet. Almost nobody has. So be easy on yourself right now. If it gets overwhelming, this is a dialogue I want you guys to all hear, and it'll make everybody puke. It makes, like, literally everybody wants to throw up when I say this.
You're going to tell me turn away business.
I'm at capacity right now, and it's very important to me that you have the exact same service levels that I have. And so I'm going to refer you to this person in my office. Hopefully you can get a referral fee on it. If you can refer it internally or in your company, there's ways for people to get referral fees that are legal. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to do it. But this is what I want you guys to hear, okay? If you're not at this point yet where Stacy's at, what I want you to hear is that you have to create systems first, and you have to hire first, so you have capacity, and capacity acts like a vacuum, okay? So once you have capacity, then you have time to go out there and even do better and bring in more loans. But the mistake that everybody makes is from a scarcity place, and you say, oh, I only want to do it if I have 15 loans in my pipeline, then I'll hire somebody. But here's the deal: you can't train them in that amount of time, and you haven't built the systems yet. You haven't been able to say, this is how we do it at the Stacy Luna company right now, and this is what we're going to do. This is our mission, and these are our systems. And so that's what we do in level 2 for people. But till that point, the choices that you make are, A, you work really hard, and it's a season. But I will tell you, burnout is your only risk right there. And if you play from a place of abundance and you say, hey, you know what, I'm at pure capacity right now, and I'm going to refer you to this person, and it makes everybody want to throw up. But the only way that you can stay abundant is if you know that you'll keep getting business, right? So it's a mindset thing, and you don't want your service levels to decrease. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it makes you want to throw up. I know.
Yeah.
But it makes everybody want to throw up. I know. But the answer is that you're playing a long-term game. We got your back covered in level 2. We'll tee you. There's people there this weekend that had 26 loans, and I think that was the biggest one. And so in closing this month, so it's like, we got your back, but you have to do it in a way you don't want to lose your sanity along the way. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Awesome. Next is Seth.
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. I am grateful for right now, I guess this sounds generic, but just overall where I'm at in life.
Awesome.
I kind of think about that, where I'm at. And I think back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and setting goals. And I'm really kind of ahead of those goals. It's
awesome.
Crazy. Like, I visioned it. I never thought I would be there, though. I'll be honest. I never trusted it. So I'm just like grateful.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
And it's like really exciting. So overall, I'm just kind of in awe.
Awesome, man.
My ask would be, I've got 2. One is, I keep allowing myself to get pulled into the day-to-day. I have 2 assistants. And so there's really no reason for me to ever be there.
Let me hear the other one, and then I'll give you my opinion, which one will make the biggest difference on you.
Okay. Do you want to hear the other one, or you want me to stop?
I want to hear both. So, because I want you to, let's pick one and then nail it.
Okay. And the other one is, I'm struggling with realtor relationships where they're expecting or they're insinuating that they need a referral back from me.
Okay. So out of those two, when you said those two, what is the one that will make the biggest difference in your business?
The second one.
No.
No?
No. Because the second one's a mindset one. And so it might be, but what will make the biggest difference in your business if you stay out of the weeds and you let them do their work and you do what I would call $1,000 an hour activities, which are generating more business and taking care of the clients and your marketing system, remembering that your business is sales and marketing, your job is to do loans. So you can systemize a job. So you let them do it and you stay out. So you stay from a position of, I'm not going to control it. If somebody does it 80% as well as I do, I allow them to do that. And that will make the biggest difference in your business. The realtor one, guys, this is a generic one. So people are always going to put expectations on you. But the only thing that matters, Seth, is what are the agreements that you've had with those people. Everybody usually on their mindset goes, well, they expect this of me, so they're bad, or I can't handle when somebody expects something to me. But the truth is, what was the agreements that you had with these people? What are the conversations you've had with them?
I honestly tell them flat out up front that my goal is to provide a value and service to you and your clients that at the end, your client wants to refer more people back. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, that's what my value proposition is to you. It's not, I'm going to pay for your leads or I'm going to refer you X amount of business per that. I'd never go down that road.
So this is an exercise in leadership too for you, Seth, where you set an agreement with somebody, and when they are breaking that agreement or they want different things in that agreement, that you don't curse them. You just say, hey, most human beings do that. We do it in almost all of our relationships. We think in terms of expectations instead of agreements. So people are really used to trying to get more than what you agreed on. That's a lot of human beings are like that. I'll tell you the evolution that I made, and I want for all of you guys, is that I don't judge somebody for going off of the agreements. I just pull them back to that agreement, and I don't get emotional about it, right? So the problem is that you're stewing on that, right? And then that's taking you out of being able to be in your business and to nail your business, the mindset things. We were talking this weekend too. It's like most time management is just your own management of yourself. So thinking about why somebody else does something is not a good use of your time. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is agreements that I made. People can be thinking anything they want to be about me, but these are the agreements. And then if they have any conversations around it, then you just say, hey, well, let's go back to the agreements that we had. And, let's see, did I make a mistake on the agreement? Do I need to make a more powerful agreement? And really being non-emotional around that. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Cool. Jana.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. How are you? You're in your car. Good. That's cool. Thanks for joining us.
I'm in my car. Sure. Yeah. I'm in my car in the Target parking lot. It's even better.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So for the place I'm coming from Gratitude right now is about health and kind of overall my health and wellness in my life, because it's enabling me to do some great things, which is exciting. So Awesome. That's my place of gratitude. Okay. So here's my thing that would change my life. I need to run my time and not let my time run me. And I am not getting to the things I want to get to move my business forward from a marketing perspective but I'm really, really kicking ass at a fulfillment perspective right now.
Interesting. Okay.
But in terms of marketing, I'm showing up for that 0 right now.
Okay. So I'm not going to tell you how I know this until afterwards, but what's your fear? What are you scared of with that?
About the marketing?
Mm-hmm. What's your fear around that?
I don't have a good team in place on the fulfillment side right now, and I need to get to that place. And I'm in a transitionary time right now, so I'm not ready to hire somebody until that transition gets done, I don't think. And also part of my a significant part of my marketing effort is going to come in the form of this series of classes that I'm going to be teaching coming up, and I'm terrified about it.
Okay. You want me to tell you how does anybody know why I know that it was fear right there? Anybody know? Does anybody know why? Like, let's see it, like human psychology. Does anybody have it? I'm going to give you 5 more seconds. You know how I know before that? And Jen, I want you to watch this back so that you see it, because you said it twice in there. And guys, this is fascinating too. Whenever you're dealing with anybody, whenever you're dealing with clients or realtors too. She said, "I need." Do you guys pick that up? I need is always every single time a precursor or the mask for I'm scared of this, that this won't happen. So when you hear anybody like a bar goes, "I need," you know that they're scared about something. So it's much better when you speak to your borrowers, your thing, to go, "Oh, so what's the fear behind that? You know, what is that? How can I alleviate that?" So, well, look, Jana, 2 things for you is hats off for being brave and courageous and getting right to that. Some people will fight me and stay in the need thing. So good job. But now do you see how you and I can have a cool conversation because we're in a cool place now? The first one, it's very difficult, guys, to do a marketing system if you don't have fulfillment. And that's, again, Jana, maybe you're at that point too. How many loans do you have in your pipeline?
17 or 18 probably right now.
So please reach out to Dan too. Then you're probably a high candidate level 2.
We're having a call. We're going to have Dan and I owe him a call right now.
Okay. As I say, we're going to do the invites in April. And then, because here's the thing that was on my heart all last weekend with everybody, and I know it's tough, is you have to build the fulfillment system first so that you have capacity. Because if you don't have capacity, she might not say it, but what she's really saying is she also has a big fear of overwhelm, right, Jana? Like, don't you have that fear too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We all do, right? If you don't have capacity in your business, then we get fearful and then we do things that aren't good for the business. So for you too, 17 loans is awesome. I would be highly grateful for your at right now. That's amazing. Know that your
But can we say that these are 17 loans? I'm not closing those right now.
Okay, so define that for me. 17 leads or 17 like in your pipeline that might close in April and March? What's the?
Oh, I think I have like 13 closing in March and April, and then I have some other that are writing. They're actively writing right now, offers and hoping to get accepted, and then I probably have another 20 pre-approvals out, 15 to 20 pre-approvals out.
And then what's your staff look like? What's your?
Well, this is sort of a touchy subject. It's a little touchy subject right now. My staff looks like everyone just got fired. I didn't do that. Somebody else did. So anyways, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so my place is, because I don't want to bore the group with my nonsense, but my place is that I guess because you're right, about 100% right about this fear of overwhelm. And so I think I'm almost hiding in the weeds a little bit.
You sabotage.
I think so.
We sabotage somewhere. Yeah,
and then I make up excuses about the marketing piece to not do it. So I want to stop doing that.
Yeah, well, good job being good. Well, the way to stop doing it is that you do have to feel very comfortable from a fulfillment perspective, and you have to have capacity in a fulfillment perspective because you're very dynamic. You're, there's no secret why you have that many loans. You're charismatic. You can connect with people. Your upside is 50 loans a month. You can do that. But if you guys, this isn't a multi-level marketing business. It's twofold. It's sales and marketing and fulfillment, right? So you have to have both. And loan officers like you that are really dynamic this happens to almost all of them. So if you don't have good systems and you don't have capacity and fulfillment, then you're going to sabotage what you're good at. And then it's going to get highly frustrating. And now you're going to start blaming the business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get up out my mind.
Yeah. I don't know if I've told you that story, but I learned that lesson in February of 2009. I don't know. Everybody knows 08, right? But I don't know if people know 09. And in the end of 08, we started on a really rapidly lowering of the interest rates from about Thanksgiving 08 all the way through the first quarter of 09. It's when the stock market tanked and everything, and rates were and there weren't many people left in my town, so I literally locked 48 loans in February of 09. And at my 48th loan, I saw my phone ring, and I saw it was the CEO's number, and I was like, man, he's calling to tell me how awesome I am. And I picked up the phone, and he goes, Deryck, you're not allowed to lock another loan. Put all of them in 60-day locks, get them closed, and at least have them all scheduled before you can lock another loan. You have to turn them away. And I remember being so annoyed, and what I was telling Stacy, like wanting to throw up, and my God, I could have another 20 right now. He's like, you don't have the fulfillment system to do that. You can't. And so, I had to get shut down by the CEO. Like, he doesn't have the lock code anymore. You're not allowed to lock anymore. And so I learned that lesson the hard way. And so I hope for you guys that I can teach you guys that part too. It is fulfillment. And you need to be thinking about fulfillment when you're at your level 2. When you're at your level 2, and then that's what our level 2 is for anybody that has that problem. So, or that's almost at that problem, because you want to catch it before where you're at right now. Now, that doesn't help you, Jana, but it helps the group. Okay. So as you guys are watching this, this is a conversation we have with everybody. If they haven't gotten the fulfillment done first, everybody feels like Jana feels right now. And so for you, Jana, I want you to have some grace on yourself. You might need to do what I was telling Stacy, you might need to say, I'm at capacity right now until you get fulfillment taken care of. But be super, super easy on yourself, because if not, you're going to get frustrated, and it's going to impact the rest of your life too. It will. Is that fair?
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Was that helpful for you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Andrea.
Hello. So my gratitude is health and freedom, because I think all of us forget how grateful you should be with this job. I mean, you get to wake up when you want, you get to come and go when you want.
You get to make what you want.
Yeah.
You have no ceiling on your income, but it can quickly, the flexibility can quickly be our greatest weakness too. That's the problem. But
yes, it can.
And you guys know that, right? You make $350,000 and you can be in a world of pain, right? Jana's probably making a lot of money, but do you see, does making more money make you happier? Not necessarily, right, guys? So you get to see that. So, so that's where coaching and those type of things are really important too. So hats off to you. Sorry for interrupting you, Andrea.
Oh, no, it's great. So my struggles is staff.
Gosh, you might be there too. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I think at the moment there's been broken arrangements or agreements, and I don't know how to fix it.
Ooh, and it's causing you some pain.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. Stay right there.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. No, be sorry. I give you so much credit for going right to the vulnerable place. I asked for this in the beginning. So just stay. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to correct it.
So let's see if we can help you. Are these staff for you or are these staff at the company?
Mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does this staff person do? Like, what's their job description?
They are considered an LOA.
Okay.
Set up LOA type of position.
So this will be tougher for you to answer, but it's important. Is what is the pain that it's causing you?
Well, the pain is that a conversation transpired and there was, I don't know how else to, accusing that I'm rude, condescending, demanding.
Yeah.
And I don't see myself that way. Yeah. I tried really hard.
Hold on. I just want you to get it right here because it's not about you. Ready for this? I want everybody to hear this, but Andrea, most importantly, I want you to hear this. Take one deep breath so that this will hit. Real intentional deep breath to the count of 3. It's not personal to you.
I know. I'm trying to see through that.
So that's the first work for you to do. And the only work at this time is for you to know that it's not personal to you. They are going through something anxiety producing for them. And Andrea, this is the hard thing with building teams or doing anything with other human beings, guys. It literally might be something for them that happened to them in their childhood that you're not even going to be able to fix. And it is really hard dealing with humans around that part. And so the first thing to do is for you to know that it's not personal. The way that I do this process, I have a very defined process for it, is when, not if, because my position that I have now, somebody unloads on me probably about once a week. So once it happens a lot, you get a process for it, but you probably don't, you've probably been, everybody's like Andrea in almost every area of your life. You're a super sweet person. And then so to have this right now, it's going to be traumatic because you don't have a context yet. Like you have to take my word for it now, but I can assure you it's not about Andrea. Now, something you did or something that you said might have triggered them, but the trigger is not you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You're not the trigger, but something that you did might have triggered them or something, but it could have been, I don't know, but it could have been they're yelling at you and they're really yelling at their mom. Not kidding, guys. For something that their mom might have done, or a friend or a brother or a sister or something like that. I mean, you don't know. So if it happens a lot, so it happens a lot to me, that you realize it's not you. And then you can have a graceful heart for them. And the way that we say it on a big thing is you can bless and release them of that. So I go through a process where, I'll say, this is my own spirituality, guys. So I'm not putting anybody on them, but I go through a process where I say a prayer for them, and then I actively give that away, and then I make sure that that energy isn't affecting me anymore. So you can't do anything until you're past that. Is that fair, Andrea? So at this thing, the only thing for you to do is go through a process where you bless and release them from that experience. Okay. That might take 2 weeks. It might take 3 weeks. It might take a day. You don't know, but you'll know when it's done and you're back to an even place. Then the next step is that you have to create new agreements if you're going to keep that person, or you need to let that person go. Now, what happens to most people when you start getting into leadership places is they tend just to fire them and let them go. And they keep firing people until they realize that was given to you as a gift, so that you learn how to create better agreements with people in the beginning. I demonstrate with you guys how I do everything in my life now. Like, if you notice, every single call, if you go to a live event with me, I set an agreement with people right in the beginning. And then I ask, are you guys fair with that? Here are the agreements. That came from every mistake I've made. So it's a grateful place for me, because then I go, okay, I did something, or somebody triggered on this. How can I do this better next time? The vulnerable part that I just put into this for you guys today was based on a mistake I made last weekend. I saw somebody have an ask that wasn't their true ask. They didn't want any help with that, but they had a mask on. And that became highly frustrating for that person, because now people were coaching them on something that wasn't really real. So, Andre, I give you a lot of credit for going right there. But is that fair from a process? You have to go through bless and release, however you define it. I don't want to, if bless makes anybody, like, you can also say let it go, like whatever your process is. But you have to let that go. You have to release that person from them affecting you. You have to do that first. Once you get there, you'll know. You'll absolutely know. And then once you're there, you have to make a decision. I'm going to let this person go. It's irreparable, or I'm going to create a new agreement with you. So if you were that person, Andre, I'd say, hey, do you have 10 minutes to speak? And then I'd say, hey, Andrea, I just want to let you know that I've totally blessed and released that whole situation that we did. But for both of us, we need to create some better agreements so that we have a great partnership moving forward. So can we have an agreement that when you feel triggered by me, or you are in a panic situation, that you write it down and you get over it first, and then come to me, and then we'll have an honest discussion about it. But the behavior of when you get anxious and then you decide to yell at me or disparage me, that can't happen again. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
They might hate you right there too, but that's where you have to be brave and do that, or it'll happen again. Because if you don't do that, you've then enabled that behavior, and it'll keep happening. Now you have a pattern of that behavior, so you have to do it at some point.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Fair?
Yep.
But you can't do it until you have no emotion to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yep. Robert.
Hey, hard to follow that one. I'm gonna say that I'm really grateful for family.
But
yeah,
in a good way,
yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah,
I feel for Andrea.
Yeah. Do you guys hear that? Like, when you go vulnerable and it affects everybody, it helps everybody, right? So yeah, in a good way.
Yes. Grateful for family. Today, I'm definitely feeling grateful for family. And on that same note, I think my biggest challenge is probably, and I said in our group with Dan last week, it was, maybe time blocking, but I think it's more than time blocking. It's being able to compartmentalize and make sure that I'm setting time aside for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because as my business has picked up and I've gotten busier, I'm finding that I'm working a lot more, doing a lot more business-wise, returning emails and calls probably when I shouldn't, and always, making sure I'm getting back to people. But at the same time, I've got to make sure that I'm setting time aside for family.
So you got some fear there too. So what's the fear?
Probably the fear of not getting back to clients and things is the momentum of building my business back up is going to slow down or stop. And I'm just, I need to pick it up. So
did you guys hear it?
I said it.
Did you guys hear it? The need is the easy one to pick up, but he said that I got to. That's even when you've done it as long as I have, you can tell language always gives insight into somebody's mind. So I got to, and then I need means that you're scared about something. So stay right there, and I think you'll get a breakthrough. So just keep speaking about what you're scared of or what you're fear about.
Yeah, just having to get that business and be consistent. I've been feeling that for a couple of years now, and now that it's finally going, now that I'm finally getting a lot, more loans in my pipeline, I don't want to lose that momentum, and I don't want to go back to where I was, scared about not getting another deal or not making the commissions that I need to pay our bills and that type of thing. So, but I don't want to lose the time with family to do that.
Mm-hmm. So, this is a mindset thing. Almost all of it's a mindset thing. So the first part is mindset of stay in abundance. You're now in a coaching program. You're starting to understand how, like, if we get you guys to be consistent to our system, guys, I did it to 111 million. So I know, I know it works. Now I didn't do it in 111 million in 12 months, but over time, it probably took me 8 years to do it. But so know that you're in an environment now that you're getting support around marketing. You will have business in the future. We're in a raising rate environment right now, guys, and we're hearing these numbers right now. Think about when the market switches and you guys have an entire database now. You're doing the right thing, and all you have to do is call them to do a no-cost refi for them and let them save a half point, $120 a month for nothing. You guys will double and triple your pipelines overnight. Okay. So does that make sense to everybody? I'm going to put you guys on gallery view so I can see that. I'm looking for everybody's nodding their head. Does that make sense to everybody? We are in a raising rate environment right now. You guys are killing it right now, or you're about to kill it if you're relatively new. When we get into a lowering rate environment, which could be a couple years out, nobody knows, then you're going to have a database where you will literally double and triple your pipeline almost overnight. Then you go, dude, how did you lock 48 loans? Well, I was like, because I was doing my stuff for years and I had a database, and that's what I knew. I could lock another 20. I literally could have locked 68 loans that month. And it was so hard for me because I wanted just to help people, but it wasn't right. It wasn't right. And I hadn't stayed abundant yet. I hadn't learned those lessons. So this is the hard time to originate, guys, right now. This is the best time, but this is the hardest time in this kind of bit. And especially when we jump like we've just jumped, right? And you guys are killing it, or you're about to start killing it. Okay. But the gravy, the big year, when you guys will have that, when you'll have $1 million year, is when we go to a rate lowering environment, and now you have a database. So if you don't think like this, and you don't plan for this, and you don't get to level 2 at some point, and you don't build fulfillment systems, and you don't understand this, you're not going to be able to cash in when that year hits. So does that help out from an abundance standpoint, Robert? Like
definitely.
The environment we're in right now is you have to understand that environment right now too. And guys, it is the easiest business in the world where you just pick up the phone and say, hey, this is how I did it. You guys want to know my this was my script. Hey, Robert, I'm sure you've seen the rates have come down a little bit. So I want to give you 2 scenarios. You could pay closing costs and you can save $200 a month. Let me give you the break-even point on that. Or you can do a no-cost loan, and literally we can do it where your loan amount doesn't go up at all. So you can bring your escrows to the table if you want to, or we can roll that in, but absolutely no cost to you, and you'll get $120 a month saved. $120 over 30 years is $41,000 for free. So me as your advisor, it's very important to me that you are always in the best loan for your needs. So which one's better for you, or which scenario do you want to do? I don't know, Deryck. I trust you. I guess I'll do the no cost one. Okay, cool. I'd like to introduce you to I call it a loan concierge, Phil. He's going to take you home from here. Great. So during those environments, I would do one of those a day. Like that would be it. And they'd be like, dude, how do you do 25 loans a month? And that's insane, right? And I'm like, no, it's not. Not if you do our stuff and you have databases and you do it the right way. It's not. So does that help all you guys stay in abundance too? So that you can stay, does that make sense to everybody how you can do that? But if you don't have the fulfillment, you don't do this systematically how we're teaching you, you're going to get to that year, and then same thing will happen to me. You'll get how everybody gets, totally overwhelmed, and you won't be able to cash in on it. 2009 was the year I could have made the most money. But if you look at my best year, it was my 111 year was 2010 now, because I didn't do it right. I could have done 150 in 2009, But 09 was when I had to step back and then hire and then create systems. And luckily we still stayed on a downward trend in 10 a little bit. So that's with the 111 million year. But you guys have to go through these processes too. Is that fair for everybody? Cool. Was that helpful, Robert?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. And then once you get to the point, as you say, minimum 60 loans in the last 12 months is the level 2. And the other, it's like this: minimum that you've done 60 units in the last 12 months. And you want to build a fulfillment system to do a minimum of 120 units in a year. And that's what level 2 is. And then once you get those built and you have it, I can tell you there's some people right now at the end of level 2 that like they can absolutely easily see 250 units a year now. Now they see it, 250 to 350. And so we have some people at the end of level 2 now that were there this weekend that are like, okay, cool, I'm ready for level 3. Okay, now you need to learn leadership and all these other things. But you have to go through these steps. But ready for this? None of you guys are going to want to go through the steps. You're all going to want it done right now. So that's the truth. So you have to manage yourself too, which is really what time management is, learning how to manage yourself. The hardest thing you got out there. Fair? Cool, Kirk.
So I am completely grateful for the full support of my business partner. He's actually on this call, Ken Turkington.
Hey, Ken.
And for my life partner, who's not on this call, my wife. So that is going wonderful for me. So my ask is, I'm somewhere in the middle of Stacy and Jana, where we've gone ahead and we've hired 2 fulfillment people for Ken and myself to stay out of fulfillment and stay true to the system, which we've both not missed a day this year. So it just feels a little bit funny when we're getting dragged back into some of the fulfillment stuff and we're trying to, make sense of that and make sure that, we add a couple nuggets and then get the heck back out of there and back to the system. So we're kind of in no man's land a little bit right now is what it feels like. Progress for sure. Marketing stuff's going great. We just want to make sure we're not doing something we shouldn't be.
So, I mean, it sounds like a lot of people, that's awesome for you guys, but it sounds like you're a candidate for level 2 in April too then, huh? Are you guys done over? It sounds like
we've talked to Dan about it. He's
okay.
Yep.
Because what's helpful to you is then we do it in groups of other people that are going through this. So I can help support you, but then you hear other people going like this: Kirk, you got to get out of the weeds. Kirk, you got to get out of the weeds, right? You've got to get out of the weeds, and you have to. This is the hardest thing, and this is another thing that makes people want to throw up. But it's kind of my job to make you guys throw up, I think, a little bit. You have to allow them to make mistakes in your name, and that's what most people don't want to do because the control freak thing. But until you say you're going to run with this, do it to the best of your ability. And if you make a mistake, we'll clean it up then. But I'm not going to get in and save you, because this is back to Andrea's kind of question too. Human beings are really good from love manipulating people. And when they feel anxious about something, they want a security blanket. Okay. So they're sitting there and they don't know exactly, or they don't remember, or they didn't pay attention when you were training them and they didn't have it. And they're like, but Kirk, I need you to do that, right? You'll listen, and now listen to the I need, right? That's how it's always going to be. Now you get it. Oh, they're scared. Oh, okay. When they're scared, they come to me. Well, if you create a relationship where if they're scared, they come to you, then you've created a codependent relationship with them. Does that make sense to everybody? Or is that Deryck weird psychological talk?
No, that makes sense.
That makes sense? Okay.
Yep.
So if you create a codependent relationship with somebody, they're going to be mightily angry, as Andrea said, when you start setting boundaries to them. They have to go through that part. So that's why I was telling her, I don't know, people curse me probably every day, right? And then I'm like, yeah, but that's okay. That's just their reaction to me taking away their security blanket. it's only going to help them, and it's only going to help our business down the road. So, but it starts from you being like, hey, you know what? I'm okay if they make a mistake in my name, and we'll clean it up. And if I got to pay whatever to put somebody up in a hotel room, I'm going to make it right, but I have to allow the mistakes to happen. Nobody wants to hear that. And that's when they go outside and throw up and go, dude, I'm not doing what Deryck said. And I'm like, okay, fine. Don't do what I said. But the thing is, then you're going to create that relationship, and then it's going to be miserable because your staff, this is going to sound funny. Your staff is really good at keeping you accountable to them. And you can get into a position where you're almost working for them. And that is not the right way. I'm sure this is what's going on with Andrea too, a little bit, where they're like, it's called a framing, where they're almost like, they're like this, I'll work for you, but you need to be available whenever I have any anxiety about anything. And if you don't set a boundary there, they're gonna do it.
So I'm good with them making the mistake. I guess it just feels funny when you can see them flailing and floundering and struggling all over. Like I want to jump in and help, but just let them continue to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I still make this mistake, so it's not easy to get, but you can do something in 30 seconds that can take them 5 hours to do, right? So you're like,
yes,
dude, I can do that in 30 seconds. But the problem is like, guys, there's different areas of your brain. Okay. So when you get all involved in a rote task or in something that's, that somebody else can do, you activate a different side of your brain, and then you're not as effective on marketing and sales in the other parts of your brain. The analogy, the best analogy that I can use for you guys, which we talk about in level 2 all the time, is you have to think about it that you're running a baton race with 4 people or whatever your staff is. Okay. You get off to a race and you run that part of that race as good as you possibly can. And then you pass it off. But when you're on a team, on a relay team, you don't get to go run that second leg or the third leg for somebody, the fourth leg for somebody, right? You don't get to do that. You have to go, I'm passing this off, and they have to get this. Now you can coach them a little bit on how they can run faster, in your case, get stuff done, but you can't get in and do it for them, or you just create a codependent relationship that's not going to help you. And if you're running every part of every race, you can't scale. You'll never get to 25 units a month easily. You can't. You just can't. It can't happen. You won't like your life. You won't like your job. And you're not doing your teammates any favors by doing it for them. You think you are, but you're not. Fair?
Fair. Thank you.
Is that fair to everybody else? Hey, John, I'm a little bit over. I've got 2 minutes. You want to do it now or you want to do it next time? You're muted.
Well, when's next time?
Whenever we meet next time?
Yeah, when's that?
In a month, 4 weeks.
All right.
Or do you want to do it now? You got
2 minutes.
Yeah. But you're wasting them if you want it. Go.
Well, I'm grateful for my health. I guess the thing I ask is my mindset. I'm getting angry real quick. I really work hard.
I saw you beating on your thing. The thing. What are you doing right now for your mindset?
I'm trying to read different books.
Oh, there's a big difference between reading different books and trying to read different books.
I'm reading different books.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Listening to them on Audible. That's reading them.
What's your process when you get angry? What's your process to getting out of that anger?
I don't know. I guess I work through it.
Try to have a definable process for when you get angry that doesn't bring it into this world outside. So when you feel it coming up, that instead of you letting it out, which is what you've done probably for your whole life and almost everybody does, try to have a process that you can release it so you don't bring it out. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So breathing, running, you know, whatever you can do from a healthy thing to allow any times that you guys get into any low vibration. We talk a lot about this in Inspire. We're going to release that next week too. Doesn't matter if you're going to level 2. Inspire, guys, will change everything for you because we talk a lot about mindset there. John was there last year.
Yep.
So come to Inspire this summer if you can, because your business is you. And the better that you can be you, the better your business will be as well. So I'm at 2:00 and I have a 2:00, so I do have to end this. You guys are welcome to stay on and listen if you want to stay on, but I'm going to be present for them, the next people on this call. So hopefully that was helpful for all of you guys. You guys have a fantastic Wednesday, and I'll talk to you soon. New guys, give me 2 minutes and we'll start. Okay, guys, we're going to start in 1 minute. All right, guys, let's come right into this call right now. So let's get present to this. The way that we're going to get present is I want you to start becoming aware that you're breathing. Now start to intentionally breathe. The way to do that is to count 3 in to yourself and 3 out. Now take your attention right to the center of your chest where your heart lies and breathe right into there. Okay, for the people that are not driving, you can pull out a piece of paper and pen or something to write on. You can write it on your phone too if you want. We're going to start with this. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. What are you grateful for right now? So just write down grateful for a second. I'm going to give you some time to do it. And then the second question is, what is the one thing in your business, if solved, would make the biggest impact or the biggest difference to you right now? I'm going to ask it again. What's the one thing in your business, and it can encompass anything, if solved, would make the biggest impact to you? So write those 2 questions down. And we're going to make one more agreement really quickly, guys, and then we're going to go around. I'm going to give you time to do that. Here's the agreement. What amount of time do you have to be present on this call? Let me define what present means. Is where you can put everything else aside and you can be right here in this call. So to either ask a question to me or to help solve the question that somebody else has. Because here's the truth. Why we do this in groups is because you guys might not know you have a problem or an obstacle yet, but you guys are all the same. You're in the same businesses. So by listening and participating and help coaching others, you start to learn it yourself. The number one way to change and grow is to help others change and grow, to help others coach them through things. So what kind of time do you have? I can go all the way to the top of the hour and go to 3 p.m. EST. What kind of time do you have? Put that in the chat box right now to be present. If you only have 20 minutes, totally cool. Put that in there and we can come to you first if you want to go. What kind of time do you have to be totally present on this call? It can be, dude, I can't be present on this call. I got to go. Awesome. But at least you're staying in integrity. Cool. So now go through and answer those questions. What are you grateful for right now? And then what's the one thing that, if solved, will make the biggest difference or the biggest impact in your business? Now, if you want my or the group's feedback and help on that, and you want to go with me, put it in the chat box. I want to go. Here's the agreement. If you go, I request of you to be vulnerable and hit the question in its entirety. Hit it, make sure it's real to you. A lot of people, because we're in a group settings, we have masks up with other human beings and we don't want them to see what we're really struggling with. So it doesn't serve you and it doesn't serve others if you just get on and ask a question that you really didn't want the answer to, but you wanted to do something. But it does serve you. You can get an amazing transformation. I'm coming off a level 2 weekend with our level 2 people, and it was the people that were vulnerable and hit what they're really struggling with made some ginormous impacts in their business and life. So if you go, just make sure that it's really, that ask will make a big difference in your life. It's what you're really struggling with. Now, don't be scared to ask it, but okay, so right now I see, and if I miss anybody, put it below too. I see David says I'll go. I see Jordan says I go. Clint says I'll go. Jeff says he goes. Larry says to go. Dan says he goes. Bob says he goes. So if anybody wants to go, great too. In there, I'm going to go down the order that it's showing up in my chat box, so that you guys can prepare for it too. So you guys can go right to the question, and let's see if you can nail the ask. But be aware, guys, because I might answer it. I think I answered all of them last time, but I might also call on somebody to answer too, if I think somebody else could handle it, or I want to make sure that everybody's being present and helping too. So David, go ahead, unmute yourself.
Hey, how are you doing, Deryck?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. And the 2 questions are pretty outstanding, perfect timing for me. And the way you said to answer it kind of was my answer for the first one. What are you grateful for right now? And I wrote down trust and vulnerability. Over the last couple of weeks, I've had the opportunity to truly be vulnerable, just inside business as well as outside of the business.
Yeah.
And had a chance as well to get reciprocation on that and hopefully help somebody else through their struggles just because of me being vulnerable.
Absolutely. Just by any of you guys being vulnerable, you help somebody else. Because I'll tell you this, guys, when you ask the question right now, if it's not vulnerable, everybody's going to know. If it's not really what it is, they're going to know. Trust me on that. So, David, how can we help you? What's your question?
And so I guess I didn't really write it down as a question. Not sure how to ask. Maybe you could help me dial it in a little bit better. But the one thing, if solved, that would make the biggest difference. And for me, I really feel that that is having a loan assistant that's going to be able to help me in all the areas I'm struggling with that just are not my strengths. Especially the emails and the tracking, because I lose a lot of leads just because I follow up once or twice. I'm not consistent. I have all the systems. I'm not consistent.
Yeah, how many loans do you have in your current pipeline?
I don't have it up, and I don't know off the top of my head. I think I've got eight currently. So this month I'll closed. I've already closed 4. I've got 2 more set to close this month. I think for next month I've got 4 set for closing or in the pipe. A couple for further out.
Mm-hmm. So usually this is what I found in my business, guys, is that I could do 5 a month without somebody. Once I got over 5, I started getting overwhelmed, and So what we have for you guys too is that level 2 isn't above anybody or anything we were doing this weekend. It's just once you've done 60 units in a calendar, in a 12-month period beforehand, I recommend reaching out to Dan and saying, hey, I think I'm ready to go to level 2, where we have it completely systemized for you, where you know, how to hire people, how to create agreements, how to create your system so that you're learning how to be a business person, not just a salesperson. Up to that point, David, I would say this is one, I've said this last time, this makes everybody want to throw up. Okay, so just be aware that you might get some bile in your throat here in a second. Okay?
That probably means it's good advice.
So until you have a system, and until you know the what, you can't go to the who, which is then who you're hiring. So until you have this is how we do it here at the David Company. We do these things exactly like this, and I'm hiring you for this job, and here's the training for this job. You will not be in a profitable relationship with somebody. So almost everybody makes a mistake right then. Everybody goes, I'm so busy, I need to hire somebody to come in and help me, as opposed to going through the step of, I need to be busy. I need to have a piece of paper and a pen next to my computer. I still have it now. And I need to write down everything I do on the same loan. I need to do the same thing on every loan. And then I have a job description for somebody to come in, and that person can be successful for me. So the throw up part that's A. B is you might have to turn some business away until you have capacity. That's what makes most people want to throw up right there. Because, and what I recommend is, if you guys are working for companies and you're in branches, you can create some sort of referral fee in there. But you guys cannot skip the step of, I want to hire somebody because I'm so busy right now, and then losing that person because it's miserable working for you because you don't have the time to train them and you don't have a system, and they're sitting there trying to figure out how to help you, and they can't, and they hate their job. and then they get a little bit annoyed, and then you fire them for getting annoyed. I see it all the time.
And I appreciate that. And there's a lot of business that I'm happy to turn away. But I think I have a little bit of a leg up right there, just because obviously I work with Matt, and he's set up all these position agreements already. And that's a little bit of where, and I've talked with him some of this, but that's a little bit of where, for me, it's a struggle getting into doing what he's got set up as the loan originator. These are the duties, these are roles, such as, making sure you're entering everything into this other system, and then this system, tracking it this way, doing this. A lot of administrative type things.
The best thing right now is this piece of paper next to your computer, and every time you do something, you write it down, or do it in Evernote, or do it on a Google Doc or somewhere. And then I do want you to reach out to Dan. This goes for anybody. If anybody's in this kind of process right now, guys, I want you to hear something, because I said this last time and I think it was pretty powerful, is our system is based on what I did to 111 million. So I did this system to 111 million. I can stand before you and say it is so wildly powerful. And over time, you will have so much business you won't know what to do with. Okay, over time. Okay, here's my plaque to see this is my 111 million. 2010 too. Okay, but here's my story. In 2009, in February of 2009, I locked 48 deals, and the CEO of my company at the time I saw his number come up on my phone, and I was like, I bet you he's calling me to tell me how great I am, and like to fly in and take me out to dinner and all this stuff, right? Like inside my ego. And his message was this: Deryck, you're not allowed to lock another loan. And you have to get permission from me in order to lock another loan. You do not have the capacity for 48 loans right now, and it will drive you crazy, and it'll be awful. You can't do it. Now, how did I lock 48 loans? Well, here's what happened. Guys, we're in a raising rate environment right now, okay? And you guys are getting busy. If you're not busy yet, you will be if you do our system, okay? You get really busy at some point doing it, but we're in a raising rate environment. and you're putting people and you're doing loans in a raising rate environment. When it switches, I don't know when, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, I don't know. Nobody knows. But when it switches to a lowering rate environment, you will double and triple your current business overnight. So if you don't take fulfillment seriously and you don't get like level one, just so you guys get it, is mindset, learning an abundant mindset. Okay. And don't go to level two till you get it. And then 2, learning the marketing system, doing the marketing system, getting results from the marketing system. Here's the thing, for everybody that gets an abundant mindset and does the system over time, your next problem will be fulfillment. Because we're in a business right now where it's not a multi-level marketing business. It's not just sales and marketing. It's sales and marketing and fulfillment. Okay, so what level 2 is, it's not above. I just didn't come up with a better name. But it's level 2 is, okay, now you've got the mindset. You understand how to stay abundant. You understand the marketing system. You understand the consistency of it. Now you need to create fulfillment. So you need to learn how to hire. You need to create systems in your business, and you need to lead from systems rather than just lead by, right? Because if you don't have that, when rates go down, again, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you won't have that ability to make $1 million in that year, which I didn't in 2009. But you know what I did? Because my CEO told me to stop it and build systems around it, I was like, okay, fine. Rates still trended a little bit down in 2010, and then I was able to capture all of it, and I had this huge year, and then I was able to retire in 2013, and it's amazing. But if you skip any steps, you won't be able to capture that. Is that fair for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go through these steps. You have to get marketing. You have to get your mindset. Okay. So you sound really good, David, right now. But guess what happens? The minute that everybody sounds good, then I'm like, well, I know they're doing good. And then the qualifications into level 2 are that you've done 60 loans in the past 12 months, that you want, this is key, not that you have to, that you want to build systems so that you can do 120 loans completely easy. Okay. That's the qualification. So even if you're doing 100 loans right now, if you're not doing it easy, then you're not systemized and you're not hiring and leveraging your people well. So that's what level 2 is. So we start them twice a year. We'll start the next one July 1st, but we're accepting people April. So if you think you're at that point, Deryck, I've done 60 loans. I feel so confident about level 1. Like, I get the mindset. I get the marketing. And I'm going to keep working on it, because here's the truth, guys. Some people go to level 2 and then they go, dude, I have the mindset, or I did the marketing. And I'm like, no, it's not that. You still have to win your day. You've got to go to the Inspire and the Elevates to learn how to keep winning your day, because a mindset's something you rent. You don't own it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're like, oh, I learned the fun Deryck mindset thing. Okay, I got it. Wee! Nope. If you're not doing it, if you're not doing it daily, then it's not going to work for you. So do the Inspires, do the Elevates, do those so that you get that, because we're at 100% success rate of people that do this stuff. We're ready for this. We're at a 0% success rate of the people that don't do this stuff, though. There's no like middle ground with us. It's either you're 100%, everybody that does it, that does the mindset, that does the marketing, becomes wildly successful. And we're at 0 if you don't. Is that fair for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
There's no middle ground with us. Okay, cool. Was that helpful, David?
Yeah, it was.
It absolutely was. Yeah, I kind of use yours to talk about a lot of other things. But let's go to Jordan now. You have to unmute. Yep, lower left.
Hi.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
I'm good. You too.
Yeah, I've never met you before. Welcome.
I know. Hi. I've just seen you on Facebook. So
yeah.
I wrote down the 2 things. So the first thing about, in terms of what I'm grateful for right now, I've listed helpful coworkers, dealing with kind of a challenging buyer right now. And so I had 2 people that I kind of turned to that have been helping me through it. So that's been awesome. And the thing that I wrote down, was for the second question, again, mine, like David, kind of wasn't really written in a question form, but I wanted to be able to kind of supplement some of the prospecting I do with like an automated lead generation. So they always tell you to block out the time to, do your prospecting calls and everything like that. And I wanted to be able to kind of build a system that kind of automates that a little bit. So, if you're not on one day, right, then, or something comes up, or, we get these fires here and there, that it's still kind of prospecting in the background for me, if that makes sense.
Okay. What's the ask around it?
What's the what around it?
What's your ask? What's the question around it? What make the biggest?
So I guess the question would be, do you know of any ways, or how would you start automating some lead generation?
Well, I'm going to have an answer that you're probably not going to like. But again, my job is just to say my truth is, if you got, what I think you're thinking about is, if you're doing something that's cold leads doing it for you, A, it's going to cost money.
Right.
And B, it's going to be cold leads. So you look young and you're probably relatively new into the business. I would be, if you use anything, internet lead, anything like that, even a lead that comes from anything that's not through your sphere, it's going to be cold, and you have a lot of work to do on the sales call to warm that up. Mm-hmm. What we teach and what we want you guys to do is creating a relationship-based business. So you're getting referrals, and then they don't shop you, and it's the loan amounts are better, the credit scores are better, the down payments are better, everything's better in there. When you commit to doing our system Monday through Thursday, you are building a long-term business that will you will get calls from that, because what happens is they see your posts. Ready for this? They see your Thursday posts for 4 months, and now you brand it in their head as a local mortgage expert. And it's called the 11 p.m. conversation in marketing. This is how it happens to you guys. This is how it happens. Roll over and you say, "Hey, honey," or your spouse rolls over, or your whatever. You're using a marriage as an analogy. "Hey, honey, I think we need to buy a townhome, or we need to go from a townhome to a bigger house." You want that moment right then for them to go, "Oh, okay, well, I see all Jordan stuff. She's in the business. Let's contact her." This is where almost everybody makes a mistake, is they do things like this. "Dude, I did your dumb post on Thursday and it didn't work." And I'm like, my God. That is not what's going on here. That is not what's going on. You guys are a marketing agency for yourself. Okay. I've been doing your system for like 3 weeks and I didn't get jack squat. Give me my $585 back each month, right? Like, that is not what's going on, guys. It is not that. It is that you are branding yourself to your network, and you're increasing your network, and there's a compounding effect to it. So over time, you'll hear, like, now David's been in for a little bit. You'll hear exactly what David. So we get the experience of, of seeing people over time. I'm telling you, some of the people that have been in for 2.5 years, like, there was one that's been in for a long time last weekend, and she's closing 22 loans this month. She goes to the beach. She doesn't work more than 32 hours. She has a great life. Now, ready for this? She is in her 2.5 year with us. Okay.
Wow.
That's what nobody wants to talk about. Right. But the truth is, you have to systematically build that. You can ask her for yourself. You can ask her for herself. She has zero fear around getting more business. For her, it's just creating more fulfillment and more teamwork so that she can get more. She knows that a sliver of a doubt she can get as much as she wants now. But it's not in a month, Jordan, and it's not in 3 months. So if you have cash flows an issue and you want to do some cold internet leads, I mean, you guys do whatever you want. I'm not your bosses, but the problem with internet leads is they're only as good. It's a transaction, right? It might pay the bills this month, but unless you're creating a relationship business that can compound over time and that you can do to 111 million and you can learn how to do it, that's the only way to do that, is through relationships. And through what I was saying is, so the process for you guys that are relatively new is, I'm getting used to doing the Monday, doing the Tuesday, doing the Wednesday, doing the Thursday, because you want to serve your people, not because I need a deal from them right now. Right. Because over time, right? Like over time, they see you do the Tuesday and you go, wow. Over time, it's amazing what happens. But it's about your heart too, Jordan. You've got a great, I can feel your heart right now, but you want to stay right there with those people. Because the dialogues are like this, Jordan. They're like this. Hey, Jordan, this is how it feels. Okay. Hey, Jordan, it was awesome doing your loan. I so appreciated you getting on those docs to me early. You were super awesome to work with. I know from Facebook and all these other places, it looks like I'm really busy, but I want you to know I'm never too busy for any of your friends or your family, or if you have any questions. So here's my, when you're in level 2, here's my link to my automated scheduler. This is my personal link that has my schedule there. You can give it to any of your friends and family, because I just want you to have that. Is that cool? Like, do you see how I just asked for a referral in a really awesome way?
Yeah, I like that.
Did you feel like all like, dude, that guy's being salesy, or?
Not at all.
Did you guys all hear that right there?
That was really good.
That's it. So when you guys hear me doing dialogues and then you try to repeat the dialogues and you're like, that doesn't work. It's about your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can say our dialogues, but you have to bring the heart in there. And if you're not bringing the heart in there, they won't get it. So hopefully, was that helpful?
Yeah, very helpful.
Awesome. Clint.
Yeah, thank you.
Is Clint still on? Unmute Clint if you're on. You might not be on anymore. All right. Okay. Jeff St. Clair.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm awesome. How are you?
Great. First time. I just signed up not too long ago.
Welcome.
And, yeah, thanks. And with regard to grateful, actually, I got two things there with that in mind. One, management has been, it's great to have a great management team in place to help. We have some issues in place that some help. They're always there, which makes that's a great thing. The other thing that I'm grateful for is I recently started CrossFit. I know this doesn't really fit into the mortgage thing, but for me, it was more of getting into a routine, working out, and it created more energy. So I had more energy to work harder, and it made me become a little bit more efficient. So, health, mind, body, and soul, it all goes together. So I'm grateful for that. The one thing that if I were able to change, that would have a big impact right now, I'm struggling with getting myself in position for an assistant. I find myself being in reactionary process throughout the day, not being able to complete the tasks that I need to actually grow business. So I'm kind of stuck in a rut every day. It's starting with great intentions, try to time block, and the phone rings, emails come in, fires come up, you have to work one. And at the end of the day, I leave exhausted, feeling like I didn't really accomplish much. And I knew that if I had some help, that would be a great thing. But obviously, like you were talking about earlier, you need to know what their job's going to be, what their position will be, and how will they help you, and of course the money aspect of it and all that comes into play. So how
many units have you done in the past 12 months?
Last year I closed 62. Year before was like there. 64 the year prior. So yeah.
Ready for this, guys? You know what's so funny, and not you specifically that is funny, but what's so funny is that's normal. Did you just hear he did 62, 64? Want to bet that without an assistant, he'll do 60, somewhere between 60 and 64 this year. Okay. We all have an upper limit on the fulfillment that we can handle. And so people come into coaching programs, they go, I want to know how to do 120, or I want to know how to do all this stuff. Well, here's the truth for all of you is that if you're there, and it sounds like you're there, Jeff, I want you to reach out to Dan too and see, maybe it's a July start, maybe it's a January start for you. But that's what level 2 goes to solve, is that issue right there where we have definable things. We just need to make sure that your mindset's there, because we're not doing anybody any favors if they don't have an abundant mindset. So if you don't have an abundant mindset and you don't believe, and you're not in a really good place there, then you want to solve that stuff first. And then, because you're not going to be able to be a good leader to a teammate until you've solved some of the mindset issues too. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it goes along with the advice that I've kind of been speaking to the other people about. But does this make sense to you too? Is that at some point you're going to want to pull the trigger from a place of abundance, not scarcity, right? From a place of abundance. Like I've done 60 in a raising rate environment. I've done 60 in a lowering rate environment. Okay, that's what I do. In order for me to get to 120, I need to create a vacuum in my business. So I need to have a system and I need to have people to fulfill to 120. Then from that place, it gets really easy to see, oh, I keep doing the marketing system. Then I'll have this. Awesome. But until you make that next step forward, and it's an investment, it's not a cost. So that's why abundance is very important to you guys. It's not, everybody goes like this. Well, that's going to cost me $50,000 a year or whatever it is to get somebody. And I'm like, you're not there then. Until it's like this. I'm going to invest $5,000 a month for 90 days to make an additional $250,000 in a year or two. I'm in. Until you can do that, you're not in. You will sabotage that relationship. Is that fair to everybody?
Yeah, sounds fair.
You have to absolutely be at an investment and abundance side, because you can't be in the fear of I'm taking on $50,000. No, you're taking on, you have a system that somebody can come in and be very productive in. You get 90 days, you set up your business as a 90-day trial for them. So it's only 15,000. I'm willing to risk 15,000 to make 250. If you don't have that mentality, it's not going to work. Is that fair? Anything less? I just need somebody to come in and take this pain away from me. No. Refer it, create systems, tell people your capacity right now until you get to those places. Is that fair? Come to Inspire so that you get the other areas of your life taken care of, because so many people have so much fear of overwhelm, which is normal. Cool. Is that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Larry.
Hey, Deryck. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good, good.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. My first part, the gratitude part, is ironically health, because I tore my meniscus. So I've been limping around a little bit, and I get surgery on Monday, but it made me acutely aware of how good my health generally is, and how I value it and need it in order to function. So that was my gratitude part. The one area I'd like to solve, and this sounds kind of generic, and it's why I'm signed up with you, but I need to increase my volume of incoming inquiries without feeling like I have to work so hard to produce them.
Okay. So I'm not going to tell you how I know right now, but I want to put this out to the group right now. I'd love to see, and I know most of you haven't been with me a long time, and I don't know if anybody's been to a live event yet in this group, but you just tipped us off on something, Larry. Okay. So I'm going to ask you this, and I'll tell you why later on, how I know this. What are your fears around that? What are you scared of?
What am I scared of in terms of not having the increased volume or having the increased volume?
What are you most scared of?
What am I most scared of? Well, failure.
Yeah. What else? Anything else?
No, I mean, failure is it. Financial failure.
Yeah. So when anybody, guys, this goes for your borrowers or your referral partners or any human being uses the term need, it is always coming from fear. I need more leads. I am so scared of failing. So this is a mindset thing for you too, Larry. The fear is driving you right now. You have a lot. I can sense that you have a lot of fear in there, and it's very difficult to grow a business from a place of fear. Is that fair?
True. Yeah.
It's almost impossible. Yep. So the mindset stuff that we talk about in level 1, and I highly encourage you to come to Inspire 2, is so important to you. Okay. When David came in, he had a lot of mindset issues too. And then, but he spent some time on it and he was open to it. And then you just heard him say, I'm closing 8 loans this month. It's because he became aware of his limiting and his fears. Now he was able to stay abundant, and our system's very easy if you stay in abundance. But our system or no system is going to work from a place of fear. Is that fair for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
So abundance is your number one thing. And because you have to allow yourself the process of this playing out. So mindset and learning to do this system, get involved in it, ask us any questions, but do it over time. As I told you guys, we have a 100% success rate. Abundance mindset, do the system, 100% will work. Fear-based, the system won't work. No system works from fear. Is that fair?
Yep.
I don't really want to go past that than that with you. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, cool. Welcome. Dan.
Hey, Deryck.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. Nice to actually meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
New to you guys and new to the business, really. I've only been in it for full time for a couple months. So, and what I was doing before that is as the usual cold calls to realtors' offices and phone calls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I forgot the grateful part, so I'll go back to that real quick. Like Larry, I'm most grateful for my health.
Awesome.
Major health issues 5 years ago, and I'm in good shape now, so I'm very grateful for that. That's
awesome, man.
Hey, I'm grateful to have that. So, but back to the marketing end of it, as I was saying, I was doing a lot of cold calls to realtors and stuff like that. And I know talking with Dan that, I haven't been doing that, but I don't know how to keep in contact with some of those people. And it wasn't like I had a big relationship with them, maybe just in the office 1 or 2 times. But some of those people aren't on Facebook. And I know we're not supposed to call them back or talk programs or stuff like that. So I guess my question is,
what do I do?
I stay in front of those people, because a lot of them are not on Facebook, or they just have business pages on Facebook that you can't friend them. So that's my question.
So have you gotten to the point where you've looked at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, each part of our system?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you something right now, and I want you to take this down. We're recording it too, so come back with Hillary too. So if you're new, it's a little bit different because on Monday you might not have a good enough pipeline, but I still want you to do the Monday stuff, because Monday, and this goes for everybody, Monday is the organic way to meet realtors. Okay, that's what Monday is. So everybody goes, well, how do I meet Monday? Because you're going to, at minimum 4 times, you're sending videos to a listing agent. Their lender isn't doing that. And they start to love you over time. Okay, so the challenge of you and Larry's from before is giving it the time. If you don't give it the time, it's not going to work. But I will tell you that Monday is where anybody that's been doing this a year goes, oh my God, I get so much business from Monday. And they reach out to you then, right? They go, you were awesome to work with. I'd love my lender. I can't even get on the stinking phone. And you're sending me videos all the time. You're awesome. So that's what Monday is. Tuesday, instead of 5, I want you to do 20.
Okay.
Okay. And I want you to do 20, and you can do that on Monday and Tuesday. Okay. 20 like this. This is the heart that it comes from. Okay. Let's say that it's anybody that you know. You're creating a database of people. Okay, of anybody you know. Hey, Dan, and it has to be personalized. Okay, so you can send them a video or you can speak to them. Hey, Dan, wanted to let you know I'm in the mortgage business now, and I'm here for you if you have any questions about your mortgage. You have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, it comes from a place of service. Okay, and you guys are going to get anxiety if it comes from any place besides service. Okay, if you're like, what do I need to do to tell them to get them to do a loan with me. The stats are 1% to 2% of anybody is even thinking about doing a loan right now. Okay. So that's why I said 20. You got to do 20 in the beginning to get 1 or 2. Okay. I mean, you got to do 100 to get 1 or 2. And then everybody goes, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, do it, because you're building a business, because they might not need a loan right now, but now you're putting them in your email list. Now you're friending them on Facebook. Now you're creating a relationship with them that they're going to see you once a week. Okay. In a year, like, they're going to need to do that. And so you've done 2, 3, 4, 500 then. And now you're at, oh, well, now I have 10 loans a month once you've done that. And they're referral loans. So it's not sales, guys. It's service. Okay. It's service. And you can, I don't know what your story is, but you can tell your service. Hey, I got in this business because when I did a loan, it was painful. So I didn't want anybody else to go through that. And so I'm in the business now to make getting loans very easy on people. So wanted to let you know, I'm here for you. If you ever have any mortgage questions, just reach out to me. I'm never too busy for you. You have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you soon. Next. And you have to do that. And it's weird and it's uncomfortable, but it's the path there. Now on Wednesday, I want you guys to all hear this. Wednesday I'm not married to Facebook at all, guys. I just listen. Okay. As of right now, this minute, Facebook's a really good way to monetize and make your business easier. It might change in the future. Instagram's picking up a lot right now. So tell everybody, don't just do Facebook, do Instagram too. LinkedIn, you can still get business from. Okay. So do it. I'm saying do it all. Okay. Right now you'll get the best results on Facebook, but that doesn't mean that it'll be like that in a year. I don't know. Technology changes. So in no way, shape, or form am I married to Facebook or anything like that. Wednesday is simply like this. This is how I did it at the end. I went to a restaurant in town, and then I had my assistant set up meetings with me with referral partners, 8 a.m., 10 a.m. breakfast, 10 a.m. coffee, 12 p.m. lunch. So I did 3 meetings a day on Wednesdays. Financial planners are important. Realtors, CPAs are important. Divorce lawyers are important. Here's what's important is that you're not selling. If you're telling them about your rates or your programs, you're losing. So what do? You have to ask them questions about their business. If you like them, you can say, hey, I have a desire to be in business with you as your lender. Ready for this? I want you guys to hear this. I have a desire to be in business with you as your lender. Is that something you're interested in? If you like them after a little bit of time, if you're jiving, right?
Right.
And you have to be okay with them saying, no, my brother-in-law is my lender. Awesome. Well, I enjoyed talking to you. You were cool, right? So many people have the fear of rejection in there too, that they don't even want to ask those things. But upper level is when you get past the fear of rejection. Any fears. Upper level is no fear, right? Pure faith. That's the upper level. That's what we're teaching everybody in. Any fear of rejection, failure, overwhelm, any fear. If there's any fear in your game, it's holding you back.
Yeah.
Then you go, dude, how do you beat fear? Just serve. So you're serving people. Not everybody wants to be served. Cool. Why would you care? Right, guys? Why would you care? Not everybody wants to be served. Awesome. I'll go serve somebody that does.
Yeah.
That is the upper level game right there. That's the upper level game.
No doubt, because in the beginning, it's hard to be in that mindset. That for sure.
It is, because you're in scarcity and you're worried about finances and all that stuff. So it's really hard in the beginning. That's why it's like, honestly, in the beginning, to keep your. I'm going to mute you because I'm hearing something in the background, and then unmute yourself in just a second. Here, now unmute yourself, Dan. Okay. That's why in the beginning, those affirmations, if you're not doing them, if you're not keeping positive stuff in your head all day long, your brain will beat you. The brain, it is so easy for our brains are set up to give us fearful thoughts. That's how our brains are set up, because ready for this, guys? Your brain doesn't care about your success. Your brain cares about keeping you alive. Okay, that's how your brain was evolved. Your brain was to keep you alive. Okay, that's it. So your brain was set up to give you danger and fear signals all the time so that you stay alive. It's not set up to give you success. It doesn't care. It just wants you to stay alive. So in order to get to any growth or to build anything, you have to overcome any fearful thoughts that your brain does. That's what we're doing in mindset. That's in its work, and you have to put the work in for it. It's the best work you can do.
Yeah.
Is that fair for everybody?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, just doing it since I started a month ago, just doing the daily stuff. It's like I have a whole different attitude. I feel so much different just doing that. I mean, yeah.
Totally. And then the Thursday is, I'm going to mute you real quick because it's coming again, and I'm going to go to the next one. But the Thursday then, Dan, is it's doing the post, not just on Facebook, but do the Eric Zanatelli Facebook groups, even if you have one person in it. Do it on LinkedIn. Do it on Instagram. Do it to your email database. Okay, it's 5 different things. It's not just I posted it on my thing and that's it. It's 5 different places over and over because you want to serve people, not because you want to get business. Right? So the one that I'm writing today, I don't know if it happened. Does anybody know, did the Fed raise rates today? Did it already happen? How much was it, by a quarter or half? It was a quarter? Okay. So then I've already written the post for tomorrow, right? Like, what does that mean for you guys? What does that mean, not for you, but my database? So the Fed raises rates by a quarter. Our job as marketers and to serve people is to show what does that mean for you? And so that's the post I've already written for you guys. It's not for how to get business right now. It's because it's how do we serve our people, right? So when you see my stuff, it's not, dude, I've done your post like 3 times and I didn't get anybody to reach out. That's not what it's about. It's about I'm serving my people and I want everybody to see that. Is that fair for everybody? That's what we're doing here too. So the Fed raised rates today. You want to translate that to your network. Then you become over time a trusted advisor. You become the local expert. Does that make sense for everybody? That's what happens over time. But in the beginning, man, I got sold into this thing where I thought I was just going to do a post and get like 5 deals. That's not, it happens over time. That's not what it is. It's taking care of your business, your relationship people. So that in a year, people go, well, I can only go to Deryck. I can only go to Abby. I can only go to Dan. Okay, was that helpful for you, Dan, if you're still in?
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
Okay, cool. And then I believe, is it Bob next or is it Abby? Bless you, Jordan. Bless you. Bob, are you in? Do you want to go? Mute lower left in the
click the screen and lost everything. There you go.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. What's your question?
I took the same approach that Jeff did and applied both a inside and outside of work gratefulness to my family, and then inside of the work atmosphere of business, I included my assistant there. Both of those groups or those people involved are, I couldn't do what I do every day without the support from each category.
Awesome.
I have a litany of things that I think that I should be doing.
What's the one? That's important too. Yeah, it's important is having one.
What's the one thing? My one thing is getting back in touch with the referral sources, mainly realtors that I have built relationships with. And I know a lot of them are dealing with multiple lenders. And I truly believe that if I could get back in the groove with all of those people, that I could easily pull in another $10 million a year in business. But I feel like I'm losing a lot of market share to new people in the business. Sorry, Dan. it's getting out there and rekindling those relationships is what I believe I need to do.
So what's your fear around that? What is it?
I'll lose them completely, and I'll lose that share of the market, and I'll have lost that relationship to someone else.
Yeah, and by you even saying that, the way that you said that is you're putting something out there that might not be true at all. So you're in your head right now. So yeah, you're in your head big time. So it's the same thing I was telling Larry. The only work for you to do in the morning is to start working your thoughts. So your thoughts are helping you. Right now, your thoughts are holding you back. You're going, well, a new person's stealing my business, or I've lost market share. And it literally might just be they forgot. Okay, guys, we do this all the time because we haven't been consistent to a marketing system. People forget about us. They're just human. They see a commercial for Quicken when they're watching the Super Bowl, and they just forgot. So, what Thursday, our whole system's around is to not keep yourself a secret, right? And that's it. And it literally is like, it's no different than you're just letting people know. And you can reach back out like this, Bob, if you're in mind. Hey, Bob, I've done a terrible job of staying in touch with you. I just want to let you know I am still here. I am available for any of your mortgage needs. So just let me know if I can ever help you or your client. Done. You see how quick that is?
Yeah, and I'm new to the whole group, so I'm excited to learn those approaches and put them into practice.
Yeah, the most important, it's not I'm excited to learn, it's that I am going to do.
Of course.
You see the difference right there? But a lot of people are like, I'll tell you this, I have people that know the system better than I do. They're like, I've learned your system and I've studied it up and down, and that's code for I have a lot of fear about doing, though.
I'm not afraid of the doing. I'm interested in the absorbing so that I can implement it.
Yeah. So the key is, and that's where listen to those videos over and over from me, do the morning affirmations. And then you'll get the shift of I'm just serving people. Now it becomes fun. And until you get that Wednesday's fun, I know Wednesday becomes so fun when it's service. But if you're thinking like this goes for anybody. How do I get realtors to send me business? Now it just became unfun. Does that make sense to everybody?
Sure.
It became really fun because then you know what our brains do? Well, now I need to know how to manipulate another human being into doing something for me. That's not fun. It's always going to give you anxiety. Always going to give you anxiety. Okay, so you can't, the thought that you have to shift from is not how do I get realtors to send me business? It's how do I go serve that person? And it might just be letting them know that you're still in the business. But I have a desire to serve you, Bob. I have a desire to serve you. I want to let you know I'm still in the business and I'm here for any of your questions. You have a fantastic day and I'll talk to you soon. Right? Did that land for you? Like, see how easy that is?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And when you guys make those shifts, it becomes silly fun. But that's where the mindset, guys, and please everybody come to Inspire too, so you get this 3 days of it too, because I can't tell you how much it's everything. But until you shift your mind, you can make it all go away and you don't have any fear and you just wake up and do it. You serve people and then all of a sudden you have 20 loans in your pipeline. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. Like, if you look at some of the people that you'll see that have been in for a long time, it's always when they shift in service. Then you get like the world will beat a door down your path when you start serving people. But when you want something from somebody, the world will beat a path away from you. and you guys know it. Nobody likes to be sold, right?
Sure.
Right. So insurance people, title people calling you, and then they go into programs and rates and all that stuff. You're like, get off the phone, right? Title company comes in and says, hey, Bob, want to let you know we're still in the area and we're here to serve you. You have a fantastic day and I'll talk to you soon, bud. Right? Now you're like, dude, that guy didn't even ask me for business. That's weird. Right? And you do it a little bit and then you see posts of them taking care of people. That's why it's important to do the posts. And then you're like, wow, that guy's just serving people. I want to work with that guy. That's what happens. Is that fair?
Fair.
Awesome. Abby.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I am very grateful to be feeling a deep spiritual connection. It's like finally getting to a spiritual peace of mind, if you will. The second question is, what do I want to solve? I feel a duality, if you will. You may or may not know that I do homeschooling for my child.
I remember you saying it last time, yeah.
And so for me, that is very important. And at the same time, my business, I love helping people. I love serving people. And so I want to I'm trying to juggle both of them. And I find a little bit overwhelmed. So the question is, do you have any suggestions to manage the time in a more efficient way so I can do both effectively?
Are you the homeschool teacher?
Yes.
Well, there's one right there. I mean, if you're the homeschool teacher, then you are working this job part-time. That's just the truth. Mm-hmm. Being a homeschool tutor is the same job as being a teacher. So you're basically saying, how do I be a teacher and a loan officer? Well, that's really difficult. I'm just shooting you straight. Mm-hmm. So I think first I would encourage you to consider and see if it's a non-negotiable. Do you have to be the teacher?
No, there are some video methods, but still here.
Okay. Do you have to run it? Do you have to be the one in charge of the homeschool? I know we have some clients that homeschool their kids that then they hire a homeschool teacher or somebody else to do it. Okay. I've seen. So when you said, how do I do that? Dave, is that you? Do you do that? I didn't know it was you, but I know some other clients.
My wife does, and we have 3 kids, and right now my 2 daughters are younger, and she pretty much commits to about an hour a day with my son, who's 9, and she's joined a number of different an online charter school, a couple of homeschool groups, and so Wednesdays and Fridays, all she's doing is bringing him, dropping him off. And he's getting through this homeschool network, all these different classes in homeschooling, and so there's a lot of ways and a lot of things out there, because she just was overwhelmed trying to do it all herself. Yeah. And so much is farmed out now. So I'll put my phone number and my email address in the chat if you'd like to reach out.
Well, send it to her. Can you send it to her on Facebook or friends with her on Facebook? Because the minute that I close this, we'll lose that chat box.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And then Hillary, who's on, I don't know if she's still listening. She homeschooled her kids too. So maybe she has some, maybe some hints. And then the woman that I'm talking about, she was just at our level 2, Allison Olson. She has she homeschooled her kids, but somebody else is doing it. And she has a big business right now. She's doing fantastic. So,
okay.
I think this is a tactical question for you. I don't think it's mindset. And I do think that you want to get a good plan for it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Is that helpful?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Cool. Let's go. I know we're a little bit over, but let me go. I just want to see you. Got more Matt. Is he still on? Hey, man. How are you?
Good. How's everyone doing?
They're awesome.
All right. So I'll go really quick. I have a call in 10 minutes, and I'd like to get a little bit of preparations. I got about 5 minutes. What I'm grateful for is right now I am at my house working from home, which
because of the storm.
Yeah, because of the snow.
Yeah,
so I'm sure you got hit pretty hard as well. So I'm very much enjoying it. I got my office assistant right there.
Oh, cool.
So he's keep staying on top of me.
Awesome. How can we help you? What's your ask?
So one thing in business, if solved, that would make a big impact on me. Mm-hmm. And this is what I wrote down in the beginning, but as I've been listening more and more, it seems like I still got to work on my mindset. Is really the biggest aspect, which is always a work in progress. So
yeah, you don't own it. You have to rent it, and the rent's due daily. That's how I say it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But really, I wrote down finding my why. Why do loans? Why go through all that headache? It seems like at some point.
That is a mindset question right now, because you just said, why go through the headache? So tell me why you like doing loans.
The money's good, the flexibility, the chance to help people purchase houses, make investments. One of the cool things that I've been doing recently is just kind of checking up on past clients and seeing what they're. Whenever I do the Tuesday videos, I'll take a look and see what the Zillow amount or Redfin, and get an idea for how much equity they've gained.
That's very smart. Yeah.
And then I'll include that in the video where I'll say, hey, just want to say, thank you so much. Looks like you have a little bit of equity, so congratulations. And if you ever need anything, please let me know.
Awesome.
But really for those reasons.
Okay, then stay right there.
Okay.
So ask Hillary if you can hear that back. You don't want to go into any other place. Okay, so when your mind naturally goes to what you don't like about the business, that is a mindset thing. And you want to stay with why you like the business. So you want to keep those affirmations. I love the unlimited potential. I love the flexibility. I love serving and helping people. And you just stay right there. Now, there's some parts to any job that is going to stink. But over time, Matt, what you do is you systemize the work part, or the job part. And you can hire, because there's a lot of people out there that go like this. It makes me want to run outside and throw up when I think about sales and marketing. But I love when I just have tasks to do and I can do the tasks. And so over time, you want to systemize the parts that you don't like, and you want to hire to that. Is that helpful?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Until that place, you want to just stay right in a very positive place. This is why I love the business. 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 And that's your why. And then you don't need to go deeper or go on some shamanic trance for a week to go figure out, some deeper why. Like, the why is because you like the money, you like the unlimited potential, you like the flexibility, you like serving people. There it is, right? You're becoming a better business person to understand that. Then you can systemize the parts that you don't like, and you can hire to that. And people are praying for jobs like that out there. Trust
me. Okay.
Right. And then when the other stuff comes in and you're not liking the job, it's not to stay in what's called a negative loop in psychology. So you stay in a negative place about it. You want to have a process for getting out of that. That's what the affirmations do. Is that helpful?
Yes, that's very helpful.
Cool, guys. It's 3:08, so I got to roll. This was an awesome hour. Thank you for all you guys being super vulnerable. You helped others by being vulnerable, and I appreciate that. I look forward to talking to you guys next time. You guys have a fantastic day.